Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erica. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about tips on how to start a successful reselling side hustle. To me, it's like one of the best side hustles, and also if you enjoy shopping, you'll find stuff for yourself along the way. It is by far my favorite side hustle that I've ever tried. I mainly sell on Poshmark and I mostly source everything from the Goodwill bins. I've had a lot of people ask me for advice on how to get started with reselling because it can be very intimidating. So I came up with a list of things to help you start if you are considering doing this as a side hustle. Before you go out and start buying things to resell, I would really recommend looking around your own house, looking in your closet. It doesn't just have to be clothes or shoes or accessories. Like, they can be small household items. Definitely selling things that are smaller is easier unless you want to sell on like Facebook Marketplace or Nextdoor. Look around your own place, find some stuff to list. I will say that the problem that I feel like a lot of people have when they list their own items is people list them for too much money, and if you're willing to get rid of them, it might not be super current in style, but I still think it's like a good way to get your feet wet, start getting comfortable with some of the reselling apps. But you definitely need to post at least a few items. You need to be active, especially on Poshmark. You need to reshare your own closet. I feel like people don't know how to do this. That's the only way to stay in the feed and for your items to kind of stay relevant. And on Depop, press edit and then press done to keep things active. eBay is a little bit better with that. I'm not a huge eBay fan. Poshmark is by far my favorite, then probably Depop, then eBay. You need to reshare your own listings, which I can show you how to do it right here in case you're confused. I would recommend listing your items on multiple platforms just so you can figure out which one is your favorite. When you are listing your clothes, something that I do that I think helps manage the expectations of my buyers is I definitely do not try to oversell my items. If anything, like, I try to competitively price my items. I try to pick my words very carefully to manage expectations, and I find that most people who purchase my clothing say in their ratings that it was better than what they expected. And I feel like I'm able to do this because I am buying most of my inventory at such low prices that I just like to list my items more competitively and move them. I like things flowing in my store. When I'm making sales, my store does better. When people are interacting with it, I start making more and more sales. Consistently listing is another big thing that really helps. I am not so good at that. When I list a bunch of new items, all of a sudden items that have been up for like a month will start selling. So you definitely need to be active constantly if you want to see things moving on your page. If you are able to get some sales on your page, it's good because you can get some feedback. Hopefully you're getting good ratings. And I definitely think that my Poshmark store has done better throughout the years because I have a lot of ratings. I'm rated well. I am a Posh ambassador, which really doesn't mean anything other than maybe it might make a seller feel more comfortable buying from someone who has had so many sales and good ratings. Also, try your best to respond quickly to people's comments or questions. So if you want to start sourcing for your reselling business, I would first recommend to watch YouTubers. There's a ton of great resellers online. I will list some here of some people you guys should check out that I think are really helpful. It is good to watch these people, learn brands, figure out what sells well for other people. YouTube has been one of the biggest learning platforms for me. I love watching other resellers. I hear them talk about brands all the time that then I will randomly find and would have had no idea that they're actually valuable. There's just so many brands out there and so many random little niche brands that even the biggest shopper in the world wouldn't know. If you are going to start reselling, I would highly recommend starting out with very low stakes. If you have a Goodwill bins, go to that and use that for sourcing. You will be buying your inventory for less than $1 a piece, most likely. It's very low buy-in. There are tons of resellers who buy designer items online, designer items from Plato's Closet to resell, or even just going to like a regular thrift store where you're gonna be paying like $5 or $6 per item, which you can totally do. But if you can, I would try to stick to like the Goodwill bins, or I think local thrift stores seem to have better prices than your Goodwill. If your thrift stores have discount days and sales, those are the days to go. Also, make sure you're accounting for fees, and if you're paying for your packaging, how much you're going to be paying for all of that. With eBay and Depop, you have to be aware of shipping. Poshmark shipping is already calculated into the buyer's price, so you don't need to worry about that, but that is something that I have definitely messed up on. With eBay and Depop, I have sold things for much lower than I should have because I had offered free shipping, which means I had to pay for it, and shipping is actually really expensive. That is definitely something to be aware of. Also, if you have time when you're at the thrift store, you should check sold comps on Poshmark or whatever site you're looking at. Don't only look at the available listings, because there might be tons of people who are selling an item and it's available for $50, but you might check what's actually sold from that brand and it might only be like 3 items for $10, and then you probably shouldn't buy that. A tip for packaging is I do see a lot of people have really cute packaging, and I actually think you can get some cute like packaging parcels for fairly cheap, but a way that I recycle and keep my costs very low is that I just use my old packages and reuse them for shipping. So I will just like fold an Amazon bag inside out. Really, nobody has complained about it. I totally get if you want to like set a tone for your store of being super aesthetic. So that's just kind of like a personal preference, but if you're starting out, it is a like easy way to not have to buy something else. You're definitely gonna need packing tape, a printer. There are people who have sticker printer things that I don't have, but it does seem super useful. But honestly, the best thing you can do is just get experience with reselling. Start posting things and seeing what does well. It's strange because there's some resellers that can sell certain brands and other people can't, but you definitely need to kind of find what you prefer listing and what's fun and enjoyable for you to resell, especially if you have invested very little into your inventory. I like to sell at buy sell trade stores. You do not get a ton of money. On average, I will get $4 to $5 per item, but if you are going into the bins and you're picking up items in bulk, it can be worth it when things average to about like $1, $1.50, and then you're able to quadruple your money. It can also be nice if you just want to get rid of inventory quickly. There's certain things that I'll pick up at the bins that I just don't find worth listing. There's just not a high enough resale value, and I'd rather just turn it around and get it out. Definitely, if things are not selling online, don't fully give up. Try and resell at some other places. If you have bought inventory and things aren't moving, go try and sell at your buy sell trade store so you can at least recoup some of your money back, if not make a small profit. Another form of reselling that I haven't talked a ton about is retail arbitrage, which I have only done a little bit of. Retail arbitrage is basically buying things from a store and reselling them for a higher price. A lot of people are able to do this from Nordstrom Rack and TJ Maxx discount stores. I have not had the best of luck. It's really hard for me to actually come out with a profit, but there are tons of people who do really well at them. Another thing that I have done is buy mystery boxes and return boxes. Okay, I've done this twice and both of them were not great, but if you watch like Hustle at Home Mom, she has had tons of these mystery boxes, return pallets, and she's found like Gucci and crazy stuff like that. I'll link my videos when I unbox them. One of them was just like a mystery return Amazon box that was absolute trash. And then the other box that I got was a Nordstrom return pallet, which had a bunch of like lower tier Nordstrom house brands, and I have a bunch of the items still. I don't even think I broke even on that. So I would definitely be careful when you're watching some of these resellers and they get these mystery palettes, because I feel like that they have connections or like a better source than the ones that you're gonna find online, or they invest like $1,000 in a pallet. I would definitely be super cautious on investing in those and getting your inventory that way. Something that I've just recently started to dip my toes into is selling at markets. I sold at 2 markets this year. I did okay both days. I think I made a little over like $200, which is nothing amazing, and it definitely was kind of a hassle. You have to bring a lot of stuff, but I do think that there is an advantage. It's a very different atmosphere, and depending on where you're selling, if it's like a popular flea market, things can do really well. People are sometimes willing to pay a little bit higher prices depending on the vibe and the feeling of the event that you're selling at. The first event that I sold at was definitely more feeling of people having like curated things, and then the second event that I sold at, it felt like a garage sale, and so I let things go for much cheaper than I was kind of expecting. What is nice about it is that people are able to quickly try on things, so things that you don't need like a dressing room to try on are gonna do much better at these events, like t-shirts, jackets. I would like to do those more often. They are a bit more work. I had to invest in some clothing racks. You do kind of have to sit there, but it is more of like an interactive, fun experience of reselling that I hadn't really experienced. And also, if you're good at sewing and upcycling things, I think that would be a really fun way to resell things. Selling at an event like that and taking your clothes to buy sell trade stores, you're able to get rid of a lot of things quickly, which if you do get into reselling, you will quickly realize how big of a deal storage is. It is a pain to constantly be storing all this stuff. I feel like I have dabbled in a fair amount of side hustles, and this is by far my favorite. If you already love thrifting, if you love finding a bargain, I would highly recommend it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If you are thinking about reselling and wanted to learn more about this, let me know. Please ask questions in the comments and I'd be happy to help you guys, or if you want to leave your Poshmark closet and I can reshare it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.